Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back. It's time for another Pounds for Purrs workout. Today I'm showing the Drop Snatch. I like this exercise. It's a great technique primer for the squat, but also you'll use it for the snatch in terms of putting together a complex or even as a standalone. It's quite good. It gets your hips primed up and ready, warmed up. You're using something explosive. So whereas some people will do more stationary exercises, stretches, opening drills, things like that, I like the snatch variations just because when you do a drop snatch or snatch balance, or as you've already seen, the tall snatch, it kind of does it in a bit of a more dynamic way, which for me gets the central nervous system fired up and running, but also it's movement specific. So that way going to depth with a snatch or snatch variant will actually help you with already hitting depth with squats, because you're not going to rely on warm-up sets for squats in order to do that. Now you certainly could, and for a while I did that, but once I started putting these technique primers in, made a huge difference. It really did, and I continue to use them to this day, and then probably will going forward for the foreseeable future, just because even though I could just start with my old routine of warming up for heavier sets, I certainly could, but it doesn't have the same effect. So I'm a big proponent of using a technique primer. Is it mandatory? No, absolutely not. You can do your lifts just the way you already are, or just doing something a little bit more conventional. But with these, it really has made a difference for all major lifts. So if I were to bench, and especially if I'm starting a workout with bench, or if it's just a primary mover and I don't do a push press before it, I lose a little bit of strength. And also I do realize that my shoulders aren't quite ready to go, even with warm-up sets, or at least not as well as if I do a push press just for light triples and then get into bench press. But for me, technique primers are the way to go. I will always endorse them, but I would never say that they're mandatory for anybody. And for me, it does make sense just because I do like utilizing the Olympic lifts. I like snatching, I like cleaning, I like clean and jerking. It's something that's good for me just because I like those lifts. But even if I didn't, even if I was just more into the power lifts or even just into main compound movements, I still think they're second to none in terms of getting your body ready, and especially if you are going for either considerable volume or intensity, they work quite well. So for squats, these were pretty decent. I'm happy with them. It was an easier squatting day than last time. Last time was a bit of a rude awakening in terms of how detrained I was, just because once I got, I think, past the 5th set, the squat reps got pretty difficult. Today I lasted a lot longer before that even started to come into play, but form stayed pretty tight throughout. I kept my core stability pretty well. Depth is good, so I think it was just a matter of getting reacquainted with not only having a barbell on my back, but also doing this kind of volume, just because my last program was low rep sets and doing 5 sets, whereas this is a 10x5. Pretty big difference, even though the load is much lower and it should be easier. It does add up. So the first few sets almost seem like a breeze, and then after that you start the effects of using this kind of volume and this kind of training really kicks in. So then you just know that yes, this is an easy weight for me, but it's going to seem difficult just because of the conditioning aspect and also just for the sheer volume. Now, when it came to my accessory, I was pretty set on doing another deadlift variation, very much like I did Sumo Deadlift last time, more for movement practice. So it was really light, 10x5, or I'm sorry, a 5x10 with 135. And today I decided to go with a Snatch Grip Deadlift, another exercise that I really like, and once in a while I will overload on it, but it felt nice just to get the practice in. Again, 5 sets of 10 with 135, and I forgot how much I really like Snatch Grip Deadlifts. And then hopefully it'll help my conventional. Alright guys, thank you so much, and remember, adopt, don't chop.